Hello guys and welcome back to this channel. So I was just scrolling through and I saw this message. Now the message reads out, "Good day. What about if the 714 setup is against the market trend? Do you still take the trade?" Now this is a common question that I've been seeing on this channel, and it all leads to one simple thing: the reverse 714 method. A lot of people don't really know how to use it yet. So I'm going to try my best and do what? Explain it with two trades. So let's look at those trades. Now this is trade one and this is trade two. Now I know trade two I did not actually take with the 714 method itself, but it just happens to be in my trade, right? I did not really need it because I was already in profit and price was already going according to my plan. So I did not really need it. But let me tell you one thing. These two trades that I'm showing you currently, they all have one thing in common. The trend is your friend. That is the phrase, that is the sentence that they are all having in what? In common, right? Very, very simple. Now, let's look at the first trade. So when we look at the first trade, this was what we're having within the 714 method. Obviously, you can see that we are in a downtrend. A very nice, aggressive what? Downtrend, right? So our expectations on this is price is just going to continue shooting all the way up. So we look down here, we'll find our levels and we'll do what? We enter into our buys, right? But the problem was the 714 method was going against the trend. Why am I saying it was going against the trend? You can see that after this massive uptrend or bullish consolidation, which just happens to be on this trend line right here, after it, you can see that price actually broke through right now. That was not the only thing that you should use. Obviously, when you look at it from just a bigger view, you realize that yes, currently we were still in a downtrend, and this was a swing low that just got broken. So indirectly, it's telling you that price is still going down, meaning that is his question. This explains his question very, very well. The 714 method is going against the trend. What do we do? This is where the reverse 714 method comes in. I've told you guys countless times, if the 714 method is going against the trend, use the reverse 714 method, which is join the trend. How do you join the trend? You join either with a fair value gap or a BOS. So when we look at this day, we joined with a what? A BOS. Now let me take this off so that I'll show you how simple it was. Now at the end of the 714 method, we had a reversal. This candle right here was a reversal. All you needed to do was to just mark the lower end, because this is a lot of what buyers coming in, and you mark the upper end right here. Now we don't really need the upper end because we just want price to break below this, and we know that the BOS is confirmed, right? That is a break of structure. We are continuing to go down. Now if price did not actually push down from here, we are also having a level just above this range right here, which is also a very nice fair value gap to enter into the trade. Very, very simple, because we know that the trend itself is still telling us that we are shooting down despite the 714 method is not agreeing, right? So all we needed was price to just do what? Try its best and break below this, and we enter into a sell. Simple as that. So let's see what happened after that. Now, obviously, I've told you we use it. It was a very simple trade. You can see it right here, right? Price just went through it, meaning the BOS is what? Confirmed. All we needed to do was to just enter into our trade. Now, it wasn't really a big deal. You just enter into your trade based on that candle, put your stop loss above it, because you can see that this right here was our initial what? High, and our BOS just right here. Now, price did push just a little bit back into our stop loss, but we came all the way down, right? Now you could have actually gotten what? 1:2 and 1:4 as your what? Your second TP, right? So obviously this was just what you needed, and that was just it. It was one of the easiest trade that we've gotten so far. So do you see what is happening on this day? You can see it. Everything shows price was going down. Just look at it. Now let's go to the second trade and you see what happened on that as well. All right, so let's look at the second trade. Now the second trade was one of the simplest yet easiest trade that you could ever get, because I've told you already, the trend is your friend. Now, obviously, when you look inside the 714 method, you realize that we're in an uptrend, as you can see. When an uptrend, price did push all the way down, but eventually wicked all the way up, taking out this high right here. So indirectly, we're in an uptrend. So our expectations were that price should do what? Price should push all the way down, from here or just above this range, price should start rejecting, right? Now, if you're someone, you probably be looking forward to using this last order block right there, as you can see. This order block just to enter into the trade. Obviously, that was what you should have been using to enter into the sell trade, right? But when you look at the trend itself, you know for sure that you shouldn't have been doing what you shouldn't have been selling at this moment. Just look at it. After a whole movement, after a whole push all the way down from this range, all the way down to this level, price just reversed, rejected, and start wicking all the way up. Now, when you look at this wick, you know for sure that there's no way we are not in an uptrend. You understand that this is a high that just got taken, price came back to retest it. Another high right here, the price just actually went through currently. It's telling you that we are in an uptrend. So meaning at this point, if you did not see it from here, or if you did not actually understood that price was already in a very serious uptrend by just looking at this trend itself, you could have just waited to see the reaction of this was order block, right? Because that was where you should have already been looking for a sell, right? So all you needed was to just look at it and see the reaction. So let's see what happened at that order block. Now, obviously, you can see that price came to it, had some two rejections right here. But yeah, let's see what happened. Now, look at it. Just look at it. Price wicked all the way up and went through it peacefully. Came all the way back down again, pushed all the way up. You can see this nice what rejection candle right here. What is it telling you? It's telling you that yes, the uptrend is confirmed. The last order block that was here, price just went through it. That's what I'm telling you. If the 714 method is not going according to the trend, if the trend is telling us that yes, we are still having a lot of fire to push all the way up, and the 714 method is telling you to sell, leave the 714 method and follow the trend because the trend is your friend. If the trend is pushing all the way up, even if you have the best strategy in this world, it's still not going to work unless you follow the trend. Very, very simple. So with this rejection right here, you could have already gotten into your trade. Let's just look at it. You could have already gotten into your trade even with this rejection right here. Where will you put your stop loss? Below that other block right there. And we're looking forward to targeting your probably 1:2 and 1:4, right? Very, very simple. So this is not that clear. So this is just all you needed, and you wait for price to actually see, you wait to see whether price will actually get to those highs or not. Now obviously I was already in the trade around this range right here because I was actually looking at it at this level right here. This was what I was looking at. Was it Yeah, this was what I was looking at. So when price actually break above this, I waited for another candle to confirm. When this candle actually push all the way up, you can see it's a very nice bullish candle right there. So I got into my trade. So I was already in the trade around this range right here. That's why I said that it did not actually make any sense for me to enter into the trade based on the 714 method again. I was already in two trades right here. Got out of my first trade when we hit this last order block, and I just left the trade to run, right? It was very, very simple. This was my trade up to the tip of the trend. This was my trade. So it did not actually make any sense for me to be looking for buys around here again because my loss size was already quite huge, right? So you could have been in this trade, a very simple trade. So let's see what happened. Obviously, you can see the price came back into your stop loss, which is retesting this order block right here. And eventually, as you can see, we are starting to push all the way up. Now, your first and second TP could have been hit, as you can see. Just a very simple trade. First and second TP hit. Easy as that, and you are good to go. Now, you see how these things are simple, right? You see how it's simple. It's not that of a bigger problem. I have students who were already in the trade around this range because they already know that, yes, the trend was pushing all the way up. That's why I've told you guys sometimes if this is not making sense, just go to a bigger time frame. When we look at a 30-minute time frame or 1 hour, so let's look at a 30-minute time frame. Just look at what we are having on a 30 minutes time frame. Just look at it. Look at the amount of push all the way up into this range with the 714 method. You obviously know price is going to continue pushing all the way up. So all you needed to do was to just join in and continue pushing up. Simple as that. And you could have also been in this massive move. As you can see, price is still up there, right? you still could have also been in this massive push. That was how simple today's trade was, or yesterday's trade rather. Sorry, that was how simple yesterday's trade was, and that was it. Now you can see that I've used those two examples to actually explain the reason why either you should buy or you shouldn't. The answer will always be what you should buy. The problem is just you have to find a suitable level to actually buy, right? Which is why a lot of people are afraid of actually entering into those trades. But that's just it. That's just it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching.